This episode of This Old Scout Cabin is brought to you by Octora Lodge 22, the Horseshoe Scout Reservation Muddy River Gang, keeping the grass cut and the buildings painted, and to Chester County Council, Friends of Scouting. Now is the time to donate now more than ever with the COVID-19. Scouting needs your help. Visit cccbsa.org for information on how you can donate to Scouting. Hi, I'm James Swede and I'm here with Troop 44 at the Oxford Youth Cabin for This Old Scout Cabin. The cabin is located in Oxford, Pennsylvania on the corner of Wheeler Boulevard and Lincoln Street. With me right now is the cabin committee chairman, Bruce Robertson. Hi Bruce, how's it going?
Pretty good, James. How are you?
Not too bad. I had a couple questions about the cabin. When was the cabin built?
Oh, back in the late 1940s, they started construction on it and ended up opening the cabin to use right around 1949.
Excellent, excellent. Around how many youth would you say use this cabin in a year?
Oh my, I tell you, hundreds a month probably come through our doors. So maybe 1,000 or more a year.
So including Troop 13 with Oxford, Pennsylvania, and Troop 44, we also help out with the Girl Scouts in the area too. That's correct?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Any youth organization can actually use the cabin.
Oh, great, great. And I see that there's been a lot of work going on, and this used to be a log cabin, and it kind of doesn't look like a log cabin on the outside anymore.
No, we had some termite problems and had to stucco over the outside, but we retained the log look on the inside, and been doing a renovation on the ceiling, and it's coming along really nice.
Excellent, excellent. Well, I've got some work to do to get ready for my hiking staff. While I'm getting ready, how about you guys take a look at the remodeling that's going on so far? I'm here with one of our project volunteers, Nate Nugent with Troop 44. And Nate, how's the project been going?
Pretty good. We've had a lot of help, and we're just about done. We're about ready to wrap it up.
Excellent. Has there been any difficulties in the project?
Just working with twisted boards, and because it's an old cabin. But other than that, we've done a good job.
Now, the work you're doing, will that help with any sort of energy efficiency?
Oh, absolutely. Before we done all this, we didn't have no insulation or nothing, and we added insulation in there, and we improved our heating efficiency.
Excellent.
So.
Great. Great. Thanks a lot. Well, I'll let you get back to work, and we'll continue on with our project. Okay, fellas, so we just got done looking at the remodel, so our project for today we're going to do is to make a hiking stick. This is a very, very, very basic hiking stick. Hopefully I can give you guys a couple ideas as to what you want to do, and you can go on from there. So the first thing that I want to go through is our materials that I have. So I went to the local hardware store and picked up a 60-inch long by 1 inch and an 1/8 diameter stick. Like I said, it is 60 inches long. The next thing that I have out here today is an 1 inch and an 1/8 stopper, which that will be our foot at the bottom. While at the hardware store, I purchased some fishing string and some fishing hooks, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with them here in a little bit. Some stuff that you will need to do this project is some paracord wire or paracord rope, any size will do. I've got 2 colors here to choose from. You will need a drill to drill through your staff, a tape measure, a pencil, and or markers, whichever your preference is. And because a Scout is safe, we will have our safety glasses on when we are ready to drill. Now, a couple things, one thing I wanted to go over. The first thing I did before to save on time was cut 12 feet of wire, of fishing wire off and pre-tie my fishing hook on. So as you can see, that is right there. When you purchase your hiking stick from the store or you find it outside, the reason why I purchased it is because I wanted to know the diameter. You'll notice that it comes with a little weird knob at the end. Now, what I like to do is cut that off, and that gives us a nice smooth cut. And what we do after that is take our furniture stopper, which I picked up at the hardware store, and give it a nice firm push on. And I now have a nice base for my walking stick. So another, a little feature that I like to add to the walking stick while we're at the bottom is footage markers. And what I like to do in that case is take my tape measure and I stretch it all the way out to about 2 feet, and I lay it out. And what I'm going to do next is take my pencil, and at every inch mark, I'm going to lightly mark all the way to 12 inches. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect, because this is just to help you with depths. So as you can see, I've got pencil marks marking all the way to 1 foot. It's very hard to see, so what I recommend you might do is to take any sort of paint. I've got a black magic marker here for this demonstration, and mark all the way down my foot markers. I now have 12 inches marked on my walking stick. And what you'd use that for is when you're testing your footing, or you might come across a creek and your boots maybe are only 8 inches deep, and you go and stick down into the water and you see that it goes up to your second to the last mark. That means that that creek is 11 inches deep. So you probably don't want to stick your foot right down in it. So it really helps with that. Baden Powell's, he actually had brass studs to permanently mark. And there's different things you can do to add flair to it. You can take a saw and wedge out the pieces and mark it, or even paint them. But just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to use these leave these markers on here for identification. So I've got my depth identification marks done. The next thing I want to do is create a loop for my hand. So of course, I will grab my tape measure again, this time going to the top of my pole. And I like to measure down about 4 inches. And that is where I will make a mark with my pencil. Now, like I said before, a Scout is safe, so we make sure that we have our eye protection on. And with your adult supervision or permission, I am going to take my drill and drill through the hole straight down through as to where I marked. And as you can see, I've got a nice clean hole through. So, so what I like to do after that is make a handle. And there's two ways to approach making your handle loop. If you're making this for yourself, I recommend that you tie on the end a simple square knot. If you plan on giving it as a gift, I've heard that it is custom to tie a friendship knot at the end. You can do any sort of crazy knots you want. I'll show you on my hiking stick. I've got some crazy braids on it, but it is your hiking stick, so use your imagination. So, I've got one hole drilled already, and that's where my lanyard for my hand goes. The next hole we're going to drill is for our fishing hook. And so what I'm going to do is see where this feels comfortable, and my arm feels comfortable about there. I'm going to mark it with a pencil. And then, taking my drill, with my parents' permission or a guardian watching, I'm going to drill, but not all the way through. Now here's the trick. I like to wobble this to get my hole altered out a little bit more. And then, once I've augured it out a little bit, going in a circular motion, I like to put my drill on an angle and go in. And as you can see, I've created a little indentation. Now this indentation is where I'm going to take my fishing hook with my pre-tied 12 feet of fishing string already on it, and I'm going to set that into the hole. And as you notice, because the fishing line hook is sharp, it sinks right in there and lays pretty flat. Now, here comes the tricky part. We want to roll our fishing string as tight and as neat as we can around our stick. As you can see, 12 feet of fishing string can take a long, long time to wrap around. But take your time. You want to keep this as flat as you can, because this is where your hand is going to sit when we make our handle next. This is not very expensive fishing wire. I picked it up at the local hardware store for about $2.99 a roll. So this is not professional Bassmaster grade. Now, as you notice, I have all this fishing string, and how am I supposed to secure it? What I like to do is to take a little piece of tape and put one band around. And now I've secured my fishing string and fishing line. Keep in mind that this is not high-end fishing string. This tape is not high-end. More than likely, you'll have to take your handle apart and redo your fishing string every once in a while because the sticky solvents can actually interact with the vinyl of the fishing string. So it's important that if you are interested in using this in any sort of survival method, to make sure you check your fishing string. So the last piece that I want to add to our basic hiking stick is our handle. Now, I've already determined where my hand likes to sit from where my fishing string is. So the first knot that I'm going to start off with, which every scout should know, is the clove hitch. Now scouts, don't be afraid to leave that extra tail there. We'll be able to make that disappear at the end. So, I always start off with my clove hitch, and I like to keep my finger on, and then we just start wrapping it around as nice and neat as we can. And as you can see, it can be a little difficult sometimes. But do not give up. It's all about making sure it's nice and tight for your hand. And as you can see, I've got a whole bunch of rope here to use. Hopefully you'll get a nice rhythm going like I'm getting here. And as you can see, we get a nice little handle going here. Now, here's the most important thing, is always making sure you've got enough string at the end of your handle to finish off with another clove hitch. So it looks like I can do a couple more wraps. Don't be afraid to get down on the table sometimes here. And finish off with a nice clove hitch again. This is just a very, very quick and basic hiking stick to make. I recommend that when you're all finished that you cut and frap your edges or get them melted so everything's nice and tight. Of course, with more time, I would try to hide all of my fishing string and get everything nice and tidied up on here. The great thing about it is this is just a basic hiking stick. You can go and add nice marks for your footing, do nice braids up and down. There's unlimited things you can do to make and personalize your hiking stick and make it your own. And one thing I wanted to share before we leave today is my hiking stick. Let's get it out. So I made my hiking stick in 2013 when I took wood badge. Mine is a little bit different. It has no markings at the bottom. I did not do any markings. I did put 2 Turk's heads on it, a nice firm handle, and a braided design that I found in a book when I was trying to braid paracord, and it has some of hiking medallions with my scouting history. I hope you guys have enjoyed this presentation and this episode of This Old Scout Cabin. Please enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you when we meet again.